ends up going live sooner than it tells me that we're actually live. So we could be live at any moment, but it still says it's setting it up.
Well, then maybe we should do a joke for ourselves, and if it is going live, then
It's
other
live
people get
now.
the benefit of the joke. Do you know, Ali, how you tell the gender of an ant?
Ooh, no, how?
Well, what you do is you drop it in water. Now, if it sinks, it's a girl ant. If it floats, it's boy ant.
Oh my God. Okay. So today, the title of today is The Dopamine Trap: Why Your Brain Loves Drama and How to Rewire It for Peace. Okay. So, what if the fight that you had last week wasn't emotional, it was chemical? Let's talk dopamine. So, this little neurochemical might be the most misunderstood powerhouse in your entire body. Everyone thinks it's just the feel good chemical, but what it really is it's your brain's way of saying, yes, do that again. It's literally your motivational GPS. And it's not just about pleasure, it's about motivation, initiation, and follow through. Dopamine is created in the brain in areas called the substantia nigra and the ventral tegmental area, which is like deep in the midbrain, but it requires your body to show up as well. And without the right nutrition, like tyrosine, magnesium, iron, omega 3s, and vitamin B6, your body literally can't produce dopamine. Like, we need nutrition. So no nutrients equals no fuel for follow through. This is why the food you eat and the sleep you get and how you feel emotionally directly impacts how motivated and how balanced and even how peaceful you are. But here's where it gets wild. So we get dopamine from small wins as well. So that aha moment after finishing the dishes, or that rush of pleasure after checking something off the list, that deep satisfaction from completing a task, you get dopamine from that. And when Jamie and I first discovered this, we would say to each other, that's not a pile of dishes. That's your opportunity for dopamine. Now go get your dopamine. And one day, in the house, we had 8 acres in this little farm. And I was down by the chicken coop, and Jamie was inside the house. And he opens the sliding glass door and he's like, Amy, your cat just puked in here. And from the chicken coop, I yell back, that's not cat vomit, Jamie. That's your opportunity for dopamine. Now go get your dopamine. And Jamie was like, come get your own effing dopamine. He was like, very Australian about it. So finishing tasks gives you dopamine, but starting that task, not so much. That's a whole different level of mental effort. And that's why people can get stuck in loops. They're chemically undersupported to begin in the first place. Now, this next part is critical, especially when we're talking relationships and emotional environment. Dopamine doesn't just react to rewards, it reacts to the possibility of rewards. So that means that your partner, your child, your friend, your client, your boss, even you may get a dopamine hit not from the reward itself, but from the anticipation of the reward. So we call this a dopamine rich environment. Now, one of the things that we did during the pandemic is we created a dopamine rich environment in our home at a time when dopamine was really scarce, right? What we did was we created Grandma Amy's movie theater. We literally, and with the help of Jamie's genius, we literally recreated an entire movie theater inside of our bedroom, complete with the movie projector that went onto a big wall. We had seatings. We had seating in there. We had a concession stand that you could buy actual candy and popcorn and soda. And we gave them money, to buy it. And we put a sign on the door with a velvet rope in front of the door for a whole week. We printed out tickets. We gave them to our grandson. And he, for a whole week, he would stand outside that velvet rope and he'd be holding the tickets and he would just be dancing. Please, can I see? Can I see? Can I see? He couldn't wait. He couldn't wait. We were creating that dopamine, that anticipation. And he was so excited. And the whole production of it was fun, right? All of us just had a total blast. It was so much fun. And so, if you're in a chaotic or emotionally toxic environment and your partner keeps picking fights, it's not always about anger or control. It could be about dopamine, because the brain has learned that conflict equals stimulation or emotional payoff, even if it's negative. It keeps repeating that loop. Our brain will keep repeating that loop. Our brain will stay stuck in it because it thinks that it's a reward. But in a dopamine rich environment, that one that's filled with safety or joy, like joy and nourishment and possibility, that same partner can end up walking right past that fight because the emotional payoff is no longer in the chaos, it's in the connection. So let's go a little visual with this. So imagine that you're walking through a desert. You're hot, you're tired, you're emotionally fried, you're starving. You haven't eaten in a few days. You come across a box of cookies. Instant jackpot. You would eat every single cookie. Even if, like, I'm gluten free, I'd eat the whole box. It wouldn't matter, right? Now picture that same box of cookies while you're strolling through a grocery store. You're hydrated, you're nourished, you're grounded. Those cookies, totally easy to ignore now. So that's the difference between a dopamine depleted brain and a dopamine rich one, right? In the desert, you're dopamine deprived, so the cookie feels like a jackpot. In the store, you're totally fine, so you skip it, right? In the desert, any stimulation feels like a lifeline. But in a stable, nourished system or environment, you can choose from power instead of desperation. So this is the heart of Escape the Toxic Mindfield. You don't just escape with willpower, you escape by creating an internal and an external environment that makes the toxic patterns irrelevant. Because when your brain has the nutrition and your body feels safe, and when your emotional environment is rich in healthy possibility, you don't need the drama, you don't chase the fight, you don't crave the chaos. You rise and you choose and you walk right past the cookies and into your power. Pretty cool. It's kind of the same thing like with a slot machine. The unpredictability of the slot machine winning, that creates people to do it over and over and over again and keep hitting the thing. And when they win, they get that hit of dopamine. Or when the little things light up or they get a little bonus, that's like they get that hit of dopamine, right? But if that same slot machine was a guaranteed to, you would win 2 cents, you profited 2 cents every time you hit the button, or even a penny. Every time you hit the slot machine, it was guaranteed a penny. You would get really bored of that really fast. You would do it for a while, but eventually you'd walk away. It'd be boring. It's not giving you the same dopamine. So that is the difference in how you create a dopamine rich environment. And you can get creative with it. Like, what kind of reward? If you know what your partner really loves, how can you reward them? If you know that your client is going to feel super rewarded by something and random rewards come up, you're giving your client some dopamine, you know? Go ahead, Jamie. You got something?
And that ties into what we've talked about previously about being present in the moment, um, the present mindset, because being aware of what's currently going on leads into the potential of anticipation and the growth of dopamine within your day. Also, when it comes to dealing with other people, as Amy was talking about, your client or your partner, understanding their love language. The book, The Five Love Languages, is good. Understanding how that person is made feel appreciated, acknowledged, or understood, because as human beings, we actually have a tribal mentality of wanting to be a part of something. Even those people who are like, I'm a loner. Everyone acknowledge I'm a loner. We're still seeking the connection of understanding of who we are. So if you have a client or a partner and you know that they feel good by a certain action or a certain compliment or a certain way of being, then when you see them, you do that each time, they will build dopamine up and feel good about the anticipation of seeing you again, connecting with you again. You're creating a dopamine response in them for the next time they either work with you or see you. So, being present, that's what we talked about as mindfulness, being mindful of where you are in the moment. The mindfulness leads to dopamine as well.
Any questions? Go ahead.
I've got one. So a lot of the hype I hear right now is how everybody's like burnout and fried and like dopamine overload, social media, like, oh, it's not ADHD, you're addicted to dopamine, you're a dopamine junkie, and that social media just kind of floods your system and that people are literally addicted to that all day. So my wonder is, like, is there a unhealthy limit? I mean, there's people that seek pleasure all day long. Like, is there really anything wrong with that? I get that scrolling social media might not be very productive. But who knows? I mean, people obviously get some level of satisfaction out of it, probably even beyond just dopamine. I'm sure it gets them thinking about other things and sparks curiosity and gives them ideas or makes them want to connect or interact with other people. But is there like a too much level? Is there anything like that?
So it's not a too much level. It's the difference between healthy dopamine and unhealthy dopamine. Like you can drink alcohol and get dopamine, but that's not healthy. So if you are scrolling social media to get your dopamine, maybe start to list all of the things that you do to get dopamine that's healthy, and then start replacing those unhealthy things. Right? So for me, dance is big. I get big dopamine hits from dancing. I love to dance, right? So like I would maybe replace an hour of Facebook scrolling with an hour of dancing. Go ahead, Jamie.
And if you can't dance, then do what I do and get dopamine by watching people dance. Sit in the dance studio with a bag of Doritos. Oh, doing good. No. So,
I
um,
have one
the
more quick
dope.
question about the dopamine.
Yep.
Is it how long lasting is it? Like, does it sustain itself? Does it have like a lifespan once you, like, most things have some level of a half-life or something. Like, how does that actually work in your body?
Correct, because dopamine's a chemical, and we have electrical stimuli, which is super quick. Um, and then we have chemical, which I don't know the exact stats
I do.
in regards to it. Go ahead.
So dopamine's lifespan in the body is really short. So once it's released into the synaptic cleft, so basically you've got these neurons that fire and you've got a synaptic cleft, and the neurons fire and then it goes into the synaptic cleft, right? And the synaptic cleft soaks it up. Same with serotonin. So what's happening with serotonin uptake inhibitors, what that is the serotonin's firing, but it's not getting in the synaptic cleft. So it's not going in, it's coming back. It's being very stingy and it's pulling the serotonin back. And so serotonin uptake inhibitors allows that to fire and for the synaptic cleft to get it, right? So with dopamine, the synaptic cleft, it fires and then the effects only last for a few minutes. The plasma half-life is about 2 minutes.
And so to go back to when your conversation in regards to healthy dopamine, unhealthy dopamine, for me, it's not so much whether the dopamine itself is unhealthy, yet the ways in which you're looking to stimulate that dopamine may or may not be contributing to a healthier future or a more productive future. So, social media, as you mentioned, is designed to stimulate little hits of dopamine to keep you scrolling. So the addiction is not so much with the social media, it's the downturn of the dopamine. You want another little hit and another little hit, And that's because there's other things in life that aren't working for you. And this is a distraction to take you away. It's a stress response, typically. Not always, yet typically. The stress response, the procrastination, the scrolling through social media to get a dopamine hit. Now, remember, we are mind, body, and spirit. So if we're focused just on one part, we create a disconnection with the other two parts, and that's where a lot of chaos comes in. Um, Imagine three buckets and one of the buckets has a hole in it. And you're like, well, I need the three buckets to be full to achieve any element of success in any area of my life. And we keep pouring more and more water into the two buckets that don't have a hole in it and they overflow because the third bucket's empty. Or we keep pouring stuff into the third bucket with the empty hole in it and going, well, these two buckets don't have holes in it, so I don't know what's wrong. We have to look at filling the gaps in any area of our life and our mind, our body, and our spirit. Understanding creating dopamine and creating it in a way that's healthy and functional and supports our future goal, our primary objective, what it is we want to achieve in life. Is it aligned to supporting it or is it a distraction from it? Because we can get dopamine in many different ways. Uh, so great question, Ali, and I hope that calibrates a little more understanding about dopamine itself is not good or bad, or the dopamining overdose isn't so good or bad. It's the way in which people are going about getting it that may be distracting from their life. Like the great analogy Amy said, hey, you drink alcohol, you're out socializing, you have a little drink, you have a little fun. Great. I think one small drink can actually boost elements, and then multiple drinks will decrease it. So you'll get a little rise, and then you'll get a decrease. So, and that's in a lot of things in life. Uh,
Cool. Go ahead, Jamie.
oh, to the settings not work.
Your settings aren't working.
The automatic settings aren't working. I really wanted balloons. There we go.
There we go.
And
Cool.
a brainstorm.
Ooh. We are going to have a toxic minefield coming up, a 3-hour. I don't have it prepped yet, but it'll be May 31st. If anybody wants to join us here, you just go to toxicminefield.com and I'll throw it in the chat here.
That's very good. The exact thing about the balance of your mind, the balance of your body, the balance of your spirit, everything we talk about from week to week in these little moments, you see how it's all connected and all combined together to achieve excellence in your own life, depending on what that excellence looks like for you. It's your life. Are you living it fulfilled in what's possible for you personally? And that's
Exactly. Cool. Yeah. So if you'd like to join us, it's toxicminefield.com. We'll see you on the thing. What we do is we do about a half hour or so, then we jump off and we do some personal healing for everybody that is on the live with us. So if you'd like to join us for that, join us, and we'll see you guys all next week. We're going to change the time. We'll be announcing when that is for next week.
And we do have that 3 hour, 1 day full experience thing happening as well.
Coming
So
up. Yep.
we've got two opportunities for you to join us. The 3 hour one's going to be powerful. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And it'll be on a Saturday, May 31st.